Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Two Gods Summoned to a Fantasy World by BenGrem1234. Chapter 19. Rimuru's avatar explained. Rimuru watched Lilith as she kept watching him with fear in her eyes. Rimuru chuckled a little before she began. To explain the history of my avatar in your world, I must first of all explain how your world came to be. Lilith gulped. I feel like I'm about to be exposed to the most outrageous information in existence. Rimuru laughed. It might be outrageous to you, but not to me. Let's begin with explaining what reality actually is. Reality is the fragment of my imagination made form due to my vast existence. My imagination becomes reality, which is why I said that the world is a part of me. In all this infinite realities I've made, none of them was with life, and all of them were empty and filled with nothing but void. Due to my boredom, I decided to create beings who were closest to me in existence and place them in the various realities I've made. These beings are who you mortals refer to as the Supreme Deity or Supreme God. Lilith looked surprised. Are you saying that you were the one who created Veldanava, who was the Supreme Deity of my world? Oh, that child. He was my favorite creation due to the fact that he was my only creation that did not know of my existence. In fact, none of the being in your world know of my existence, Rimuru told her. Forgive me for asking, but how can that be? Lilith asked. Well, I created all those children in all the realities and asked them to continue the creation of the world. They did their job like I asked, but it got boring when all the creation keep praising and worshipping me. Before any of them could take any action, they will make sure to ask for my permission. How can I not be bored when I'm the one giving instructions on how they are to live their lives? So I got this idea of making a world and hide my existence from them and see how they will build their own world, Rimuru explained to her. So that's why we don't know anything about your existence. We always believed that Veldanava was the overall deity before Miyuki took his place, Lilith said in shock. I haven't even gotten to the interesting part yet and you are already shocked? The story is just getting to the good part, you know. So then, after I created Veldanava without revealing myself to him, I watched as he created multiple worlds in your reality and ruled all of them. He used the energy of nothingness and combined it with his own energy to create the world. It was quite amusing watching mortals in your world believe that their power was absolute, and before I knew it, several years has passed in your world. That is quite the revelation, Your Holiness, but this hasn't explained anything about your avatar and why you brought me here, Lilith told Rimuru. I've told you how the realities were made and how the multiverse inside them were created, but what I didn't tell you is who I sent to monitor each realities, Rimuru said to her in a serious voice. Lilith gulped once again after she heard the tone of Rimuru. Isn't it the Supreme Deities? Nope. I sent my avatars into each realities as observers to monitor them. I placed a single mission in them, which is to destroy any reality that seems boring and useless to me. My avatars are independent of me and I don't interfere with their choices, but each of them are aware of my existence and the mission I gave them. Due to this, they usually don't interact with the mortal world and simply carry out my orders when the time comes, Rimuru told them. Lilith looked at Rimuru in shock. This entity just gave her avatar a mission to destroy any world that seems boring to her. That was beyond cruel, but she can't argue with her because she is an existence that she cannot begin to comprehend. That look in your face say that my actions are cruel, and from a mortal point of view, it might be correct. But the thing is, all this reality are a part of me. Should I feel sorry for removing a part of myself that I don't like anymore? Rimuru asked her. Lilith looked at the floor and said in a trembling voice, will you destroy my world as well if you find it boring? Rimuru smiled and laughed a little. It always amuses me how emotional mortals can get over little things. To answer your question, I won't be erasing your world anytime soon. After all, out of all the realities I made, your world is the best one by far and the most amusing to me. Lilith looked at Rimuru again in confusion. How so? Well, I made all these realities which my avatar watches over, but in your world, my existence was not known. Due to this, my partner Seal gave me an idea on how to make that situation very entertaining, Rimuru told her in excitement. Lilith looked confused again. You've said that before, but who is this Seal? Rimuru looked surprised about the question. I guess I didn't explain who she is, did I? Seal, come over here and explain yourself. Just after Rimuru said that, a bright light enveloped and blinded Lilith, which caused her to cover her eyes. When the light died down, Lilith looked and saw another person standing next to Rimuru. This person is the exact replica of Rimuru, with the only difference being that she has a shade of red-crimson eyes while Rimuru has a bright golden eyes. Seal looked at Lilith, who was looking at her with a shocked look. "Is good to meet you in this form. I am Seal and I am my master's powers given form." Lilith looked utterly lost. "I don't understand what you mean, your holiness." Seal looked amused by her reaction. "What I mean is that, I am my master's powers in a literal way. Long ago, my master was bored and she wanted a way to limit some of her powers in other for her to enjoy the surprise and suspense each realities will provide. Due to this, she removed some of her powers and placed them inside a vessel she created, which is me. Her omniscience and creation abilities were put inside me and my master could now enjoy the dramas of each realities like she wanted." Lilith looked dumbfounded at Seal. "Isn't that a very stupid reason for creating you?" she thought to herself. Seal's expression changed and she looked at Lilith with rage. "A lesser creature like yourself has the audacity to insult my master right before me. I will erase you where you stand." An overwhelming powers crushed Lilith and brought her to her hands and knees. Lilith has never felt such power before in her life, and all that power is being directed towards her. She could not move and she felt that her little existence was about to be crushed by the power being directed at her. "That's enough, Seal. You done what I asked, so return back to what you were doing," Rimuru told her. The power that Seal was releasing immediately disappeared and Seal turned to Rimuru and bowed. "As you wish, master. Call me when you need anything else." She disappeared after that. Rimuru turned to Lilith, who was breathing hard due to being exposed to a fraction of Seal's power. "Sorry about that, but Seal doesn't take it too kindly to anyone who might disrespect me in any way. She once erased 1,000 realities due to them saying disrespectful things about me." Lilith calmed her heart down and she looked at Rimuru with fear. "I'm sorry for my rudeness. I promise it will never happen again." Rimuru smiled. "All is forgiven. Now back to what I was saying. Seal gave me the idea to make my avatar that was to be sent into your world as a mortal. At first I thought it was stupid, but he sure shattered all my expectations." "Wait, my lord. Are you saying your avatar in my world is immortal?" Lilith asked in confusion. "Was immortal. Now he is a supreme deity, so to speak. I first created my avatar as a human and placed him in your world. Unlike my other avatars in other realities, I didn't give this one any others to follow and I didn't give him any powers. In fact, I didn't even make him know that he was an avatar," Rimuru told Lilith. "If what you said is true, how did he become so powerful?" Lilith asked. "That part shocked me as well. After some time passed, his life got very boring for me and I was about to close the curtain on his life, but something happened that piqued my interest. My avatar got stabbed and killed by a human," Rimuru told her. "Nani? How can your avatar ever be killed by a human, no less?" Lilith asked in shock. "I told you that I didn't give him any powers, right? I made him completely mortal. What shocked me the most was that after he died, he was reincarnated into another world as a slime. How funny is that?" Rimuru said while laughing. Lilith was once again shocked by this new revelation. "So your avatar in my world is a slime?" Rimuru stopped laughing and cleaned his eyes. "Was a slime. Now his existence is very complicated, but that's not important. So after he was reincarnated as a slime, things got really interesting and amusing for me. He surpassed my expectations. I thought he would die along the way, but he didn't. He started from the very bottom and rose to be highest existence in your world all by himself without my influence or interference. He made friends and faithful subordinates and he built himself a lovely nation. He even got himself a wife now and 2 kids. He is my pride and joy." Lilith could see how proud Rimuru was of his avatar. "The way you speak of your avatar sounds like a parent talking about their child." Rimuru laughed a little at that. "You are not wrong in that assessment. All my avatars are independent of me and each of them have their own ego and personality. Calling them avatars may not be the right word to describe them. Think of them as my lesser clones that are independent of me. Among all of them, the Rimuru in your world is my favorite and the strongest by far." "So he is the strongest avatar among all the avatars you've created?" Lilith said to him. "That's right. I was so impressed with him when he became the supreme deity without my assistant. I decided to give him the powers that I was supposed to give him as my avatar, which caused an evolution to occur. His avatar powers combined with his already supreme deity power made him nigh omnipotent, omnipresence and omniscience in your world. He actually gained enough power to reach my realm, but the power could only be used once. Lilith looked confused. Does that mean that he came here and met you? You are correct. He did come here after his evolution to godhood and he met me. I explained to him about who he is and why I made him. I thought he would be sad after learning about himself from me, but he surprised me once again with his actions. Instead of being sad or angry, he simply laughed and told me that he would be protecting his world from now on and that I should not interfere with his actions. I was so amused by his response that I decided to give him the power to visit me whenever he wants as a reward for being the only avatar able to come to this realm. After that, he returned back to his world. Rimuru explained to her. Lilith still looked confused. I understand the purpose of your avatars as observers of your creations, but is that their only role? I like how you think, Lilith. My avatar may be independent of me, but their main role is not to be observers. Their main role is to be the host for me to use when visiting any of the realities. When I want to come into any of the reality for whatever reason, I simply use my avatars as host to allow me to enter without any issues. If I were to enter any of the realities without a host, that reality will collapse due to my existence, Rimuru told her. Lilith nodded her head. I get it now, but you still have not explained the problem you encountered. Rimuru scratched her hair. That's the thing. The problem is actually Miyuki from your world. She is under the impression that there are two supreme beings outside her world. She believes that my avatar is actually the avatar of the other supreme being who was able to reach me, which is annoying. She is under the delusion that if she can defeat my avatar and take his powers, she can reach my level. How crazy is that? I would have dealt with her for that stupid idea, but she would make an excellent opponent for my avatar. So what do you want me to do? Is there any particular reason why you recreated me? Lilith asked. Well, in the story, when a boss is defeated, she usually joins the hero party, you know. I actually like your character and didn't want to lose it this early on in the story. Your power of darkness and your vast spells will make an excellent addition to my avatar's group, Rimuru told her. Lilith looked at Rimuru with a dumbfounded look. You are telling me that you recreated me for the sake of your amusement? Rimuru looked at her in a calm way. Pretty much. I also want you to teach my avatar's daughters how to use spells and other magic powers. And do not think of this as a bad thing. I also have plans for you to get your revenge on the elder gods who destroyed your family. Lilith's expression changed to anger. How can I have my revenge on them when I am not strong enough to beat them? Rimuru smiled at her. Your powers are indeed inferior if you fight them alone, but if you and Chloe team up against one of them, you'd have a chance of winning. Lilith looked at her hand and clenched it before she turned to Rimuru. I'm ready. Send me back so that I can get started on my assignment. That's good to hear. Do not worry about your city. My avatar has already restored everything the way it was before the fight. Your elites are still dead, but that's no problems for you. When you wake up back in your world, make a clone of yourself and have that clone to go back to your city to rule the vampires. You on the other hand should move to where my avatar and her parties are and join them. I have taken the liberty of removing the craving of blood from the DNA of the vampires. Now you and your kind can survive by eating regular food, Rimuru explained to her. Once you reach my avatar, I want you to tell him that the one who stands at the top sent you to join them and become the magic teacher of his daughters. Have all the adventures you want with them, for you are my source of entertainment. Lilith nodded her head after hearing the instructions. She wanted to comment on the part of being a source of entertainment, but she was not suicidal enough to voice such thought. Rimuru clicked his fingers and Lilith disappeared after and returned to her world. Rimuru looked at the book that contained the stories of all realities in amusement. I can't wait to see what she and my avatar will do next, Rimuru said to himself. Less than is it wise to reveal all that to her master? Greater than Seal asked. You should know the answer to that, Seal. It will be more amusing this way, Rimuru told her. Less than, but you didn't tell her about my own avatar that is inside your avatar. Greater than Seal said to Rimuru. I don't want to spoil everything for her, you know. I will leave the decision of telling Lilith about your avatar's existence to my avatar, Rimuru told Seal as her form began to disintegrate and merge back with everything. Less than if you say so, Master. Greater than Seal said to her.